Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. This is Oxhorn, and today we're going to talk about jetpacks. More specifically, we're going to talk about personal jetpacks that you can place on your character. I often get questions from people who watch my videos, and they go, "Hey Oxhorn, nice jetpack. Is that in the game, or is that a mod? Or where do I get that jetpack? How do I use a jetpack?" So on and so forth. And well, that's what I'm going to answer today in this video. So the short answer is yes, this is a mod. But to complicate things, there are a lot of jetpack mods, and so many, in fact, that I can't cover them all in this video. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about two of my favorite jetpack mods for Fallout 4. And to Xbox players, never fear, there are jetpack mods available to you as well. I can't test them because I don't have an Xbox or I don't have access to one, so I'll be going over the PC versions, but many of them work the same way, and I'm going to link to the Xbox versions in the description of this video. First on the list today is Cross Jetpack by Nero. This has been around for a long time, and it's one of my favorites because using the jetpack caused your character to display a weird T-shaped jumping animation. Nero fixed the issue by creating his own animations, including sprinting, jumping, and firing a weapon while using the jetpack. That's something that players have long wanted, and the Cross mod fixed it, and it's really cool. Now, many of the mods that came after Cross got his permission to use those animations. So the other mod that I'm going to talk about today has the exact same animation, so you don't need to worry about that strange T-shaped animation that I referred to. The Cross Jetpack is super cool, but it's also pretty complicated. You can choose between a number of different colors of flame, and you can choose between an incredible variety of colors for your jetpack. Let me show you how it works. To get the jetpack, go to your chemistry station and you go to the utility section. At the very bottom of the list, after installing the mod, you're going to find a new item called Pack Jetpack. Craft it. It costs rank 2 of science, rank 2 of armor, 6 aluminum, 4 circuitry, 4 fiberglass, 2 gold, and 6 nuclear material. Once crafted, you need to go to any armor smithing station to modify it to get it to work. Now there are a lot of things here that are a little bit tricky. Let me start first by talking about the gadget. The gadget dictates how the jetpack functions, and there are a couple of different options. This is also where you go to choose your flame color. There's Advanced, Standard, and Jet Sprinter. Standard gives you just the regular old jetpack from the power armor. It's a smaller version without 4 jets, it only has 2 jets, but it's the same size and it has the same functionality. It doesn't give you any added benefit that the original jetpack doesn't give you. The next is Jet Sprinter. This gives you everything the standard jetpack does, but it also comes with an assisted sprint functionality. When you have the Jet Sprinter gadget installed on your jetpack, when you sprint faster. Flames come out of your jetpack to assist you in sprinting. It also reduces your action point cost, which makes a lot of sense because if your jetpack is helping you with sprinting, you need to exert less energy to sprint. Now, Advanced is the one that confuses me because it says that it's a combination of both Standard and Jet Sprinter, but it doesn't actually say what it does differently. All 3 of these different versions say that you need to have some sort of legs on that eliminate or reduce falling damage, and so I just use the free fall legs, which are in the game. You could use any armor that's got the Acrobat legendary modification on it to reduce falling damage. So I'm not sure how Advanced is different from Standard or Jet Sprinter. I've heard some people say that Advanced allows you to shoot while you're flying, but when I tested it, I was able to shoot while I was flying on all of them. So I don't know what the difference is. But you also have a choice between blue flames or orange flames. I always prefer the orange flames. So for this one, I'm going to go Advanced Orange. Next, there's the upgrades, which basically are just impact dampeners. These simply reduce falling damage by either 30% or 60%. Version 1 requires rank 2 of Science and Armor. Version 2 requires rank 3 of Science or Armor. But as I just said, all you really need are the freefall legs, and you don't need this at all. Next, let's go to texture. This changes the way the jetpack looks, and there are a bunch of options. Version 1 is a roughed up version, but bear in mind before you choose the way your jetpack looks, you need to take a look at the requirements of the gadgets. So each of these gadgets requires either an unpainted, a version 3, or a version Brotherhood of Steel texture. So let's go back in here, and according to the documentation in the mod, version 1 is not going to be compatible with any of the gadgets that are equipped to the jetpack. The textures also come with the paint jobs for power armor that come in the game. The shark jaws, the pink hot rod, the red hot rod, or this custom red texture. I'm assuming that these textures are also incompatible with the gadgets that we just installed. The Brotherhood of Steel textures are, you know, what we would typically assume. Orange, brown, and then they also have a Brotherhood version of the chrome. You can also choose clean chromatic, which is a chrome-looking jetpack, or a polished one, which is just a regular jetpack that looks like it's brand new. To complicate it even further, you can then choose a color palette, and there are a bunch of color palettes, which frustratingly, instead of being called A, B, C, and D, they're called 0.3, 0.10, 0.15, etc. The nice thing is that if you hover over the palette index, it shows you which texture is compatible with it. Now, there are so many different palette and texture combinations that I can't possibly show them off in this video. But the mod author provided this handy little image that is basically a table. You can choose the texture that you want, which is that top row, and then compare it with the palette that you want, which is on the left. So let's say I wanted the Brotherhood of Steel textures. I would use the table on the far right, and then I would match that with the palette number on the far left to choose the design that I want. Ultimately, it's really confusing, and I basically just went through a few of these until I found one that I liked, and then I went with it. So here's an example of just a regular looking jetpack, and here's one with some Brotherhood textures on it. As you can see, it's got a different look. The looks are amazing. I love the way these jetpacks look. They look worn, they don't look overly glossy, they really look like they live in this world. So it's a pretty cool mod overall, if just a little bit complicated to use. The next jetpack I want to go over is called Jetpacks FAO by Muriel Kai. This mod is unique because it gives you jetpacks in a variety of colors and patterns and two different mesh shapes. The Robco shape is the one we're all familiar with, and then there's another one called the Vault-Tec shape, and I'll show you what it looks like. But take a look at all of these different colors. It's just a whole lot of different colors and patterns that you can go through. While a huge list, it's less intimidating than the cross list, so I'll show you what each of these looks like. Here's what the Robco version looks like. As you can tell, it's much smaller than the cross jetpack. This is the cross jetpack. It fits really well with larger, bulkier items because there's less of a clipping issue. And this is the Robco jetpack from Jetpacks FAO. And you can see that it is clipping a little bit with my armor. And that's because the jetpacks from this mod are really designed to be worn with skin-tight suits like a Vault suit, or some of the nano suits or precursor suits that you can download from Nexus Mods or Bethesda.net. Functionality is very similar. It's got lovely jets, you can go super high, and it's got all of the same wonderful animations that came with Cross Jetpack. But what's really special about this mod is it comes with a brand new texture called the Vault. Here's the Vault-Tec Jetpack Black. As you can see, it clips horribly with my armor. So let me take my armor off. Oh my, it's even clipping with my shirt. Well, I'm not going to take that off, but anyway, there you go. You can see what it looks like. It's a sleeker appearance. It looks like it's almost built into your character, and the animation is lovely. Look at that. It just looks like it fits so well with a compact jetpack of this size. Another cool thing about this is you can install it to have a variety of different glosses. The one you're looking at right now is the matte version. I wanted something that wasn't too shiny. I didn't want it to stand out too much, but you can install a super glossy one, a semi-glossy one, or even a satin appearance if you want. Now, you can't customize it from an armor station to choose these options. You actually have to make the decision while you're installing the mod, and then if you want to change the gloss on it, you have to reinstall the mod and then choose a different glossy option. It also comes with a bunch of decals. These decals I really like because they're just hazard decals, but it comes with other decals that you can choose, including the Vault symbol, the American flag, and a bunch of other stuff. I simply chose to install mine without any of the decals. Again, if you want to change the decals, you do have to reinstall the mod and then go through the process again to choose the decals that you want. But let me show you what the colors look like for each of these, the Robco version and the Vault-Tec version. By the way, I just want to say here that you can choose between two different camo versions when installing the mod, the sort of digital camo or the traditional camo. Now, one drawback to both of these mods is that if you install the personal jetpacks, it actually breaks the animation for your regular jetpack, the jetpack on your power armor. You can still use the jetpack on your power armor, but flames don't come out the end, and you don't have any interesting animations. To fix that, Muriel Kai has provided a patch for both the Cross Jetpack and a variety of other jetpack mods that restores a flame animation to the jetpack. Now, in order to do that, the flame has to stay on all the time. As you can see, this is my Brotherhood of Steel character, and he's rocking a jetpack, but the flame is on all the time. But that doesn't really bother me. I still think it looks cool. You can still sprint, you can still fly, and you can shoot and wield a gun while in mid-air. So it's pretty cool nonetheless. So you just have to make that decision for yourself. If you are in your power armor all the time and you're happy with the way Fallout handles jetpacks, then you really don't need any of these mods. But if you have a character like I do who never uses power armor and you would like a jetpack for him or her, and yet you still want to keep the jetpack animation for your power armor character, then be sure to download the patch on the Jetpacks FAO files page that says Power Armor Jetpack Animation Fix Patch. These are just my two favorite jetpacks, and if you really want to experiment with all the jetpacks out there, there's a lot to choose from, and I do link to them in the description of this video for your convenience. There's the Armorsmith Extended Jetpack, the Cute Animated Jetpack, the Nanosuit Jetpacks, and the Personal Jetpacks. Each has their own perks, but it's just too many different jetpack mods to go over in this video, so I just wanted to show off the two that I personally like best. So there you have it, ladies and gents. Lots of really cool stuff about jetpacks. I'm really happy to be able to share this with you. I've used my jetpack religiously ever since I installed it months ago. The Cross Jetpack is probably the one I'm going to continue to use just because I like a bit of a bigger jetpack. It makes a little bit more sense to me. It makes me think like it could support my character's weight a little bit better. But it all depends upon your play style. Depends upon the costumes that you choose to use and how you like to use it. Remember, ladies and gents, that I linked to these mods in the description of this video, and there are Xbox versions, which I also link to in the description of this video. Anyway, there you go. If you like this video, please subscribe for more Fallout 4 and mod content. I produce a new video every day, and if you like what I do and you want to support me personally, please consider becoming one of my patrons on Patreon. Either way, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching. Tune in tomorrow for my next video, and have a great day.